Shalom, and first and foremost, I'm gonna start off saying Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Shah, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Shah, Brakta Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect that teach this truth sincerely across the four corners of the earth, man. And today's this pagan shit, Thanksgiving, man. And this shit was fake. This day, like that thing that you learn in school, how they came together, had that feast and shit. That shit never happened, man. That shit never fucking happened, man. And I got articles and scriptures to back my point up, man. This devil is a liar, man. He deceived the whole world, man. Like the scriptures say, man. You know, everything he said was a lie, man. This shit ain't true, man. You gotta think about it, man. But let me get into these articles and these scriptures real quick. Uh, this I got a scripture real quick to start off. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So, hear ye the word which the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh speaketh unto the children of Israel, man. The house of Israel, man. Not the Edomites, not the Ishmaelites. Only the house of Israel, man. Because that's the only nation he's dealing with, man. Like the scriptures say, ye have I known out of all the families of the earth, man. He only known us out of all these families of the earth, man. So he'll judge us through our iniquities, man. Roughly paraphrasing, man. And like the scriptures also say, man, I have chosen you to be a special people unto me above all people above the face of the earth, man. Roughly paraphrasing, man. So he only chose us, man. We are his children, man. We, the children of Israel, the Israelites, the children of Israel, is the Most High's children, man. We the Most High's wife, man. He only dealing with us, man. He ain't dealing with no other nation, man. And y'all over here, let me keep going. Thus saith the Lord. So thus saith the Lord. This is what the Lord said. Learn not the way of the heathen. So learn not the way of these heathens, man. And that's what 2/3 is caught up in, learning the way of these heathens, man. Our own people is caught up with these other nations, man. We're supposed to be following our doctrine, We're supposed to be following our customs, man, not these other nations' customs, man. And that's what these holidays is, man. This shit ain't start with no Gad, and the Edomites coming together eating, man. That shit fake as fuck. That shit never happened, man. You gotta think about it, man. Why, if we was in slavery, if the guy and them was in slavery in the 1500s, how on 1621 they came together and have a feast, man? How the fuck did that shit happen, man? They would have never did that shit, unless they was some coons or some shit. But the point is, that shit never happened though. The pilgrims even ain't had nothing to do with this Thanksgiving shit, man. Man, this devil was a deceiving. He a slick ass nigga, man. Man, he trying to trick niggas and shit. See, that's how you know these Edomites want to be like us, man. Cause that's what Jacob. I'm talking about Jacob himself. That's what he did, man. His name means to trick, man, in the Hebrew, man. They Esau trying to be like Jake, man, but in a deceiving way, man. But I'm gonna get into these articles real quick, man. This alright, now let's get into the regular story that they teach the whole world in school. They came together, had this feast, man, real quick. This the event that Americans commonly call the first Thanksgiving was celebrated by the Pilgrims after their first harvest in the New World in October 1621. This feast lasted 3 days, and as accounted by attendee Edward Winslow, it was attended by 90 Native Americans and 53 Pilgrims. So this is a story they teach, but this shit right here, I'm gonna just keep it 100. This shit fake as fuck, man. This shit never happened, man. This never happened, man. The Pilgrims ain't had nothing to do with this, man. You know, and it wasn't no Native Americans ain't had no feast with no Edomites because they was getting tortured by them, man. And on top of that, in this time, the Southern Kingdom was in slavery in this time, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So Israel was getting tortured in this time. So how was it some feast that they had out the blue, man? No, like come on, man. You gotta be real, man. Ain't no coons come out the cut. No coon Gadites came out the cut and said, "All right, let's have a feast with these." No, that shit never happened, man. We wasn't even allowed to eat with these niggas, man. So how the fuck we have a feast with they ass, man? This shit fake as fuck. Um, Now let's see where this shit really. No, before we get into how it started, let me get. This could be a cut to you niggas that think that they were friends, you know. In 1495, the Spanish, under the leadership of Columbus, rounded 1,500 Arawaks. If you were looking at word Arawaks, man, that comes from a Hebrew word, man. If I'm not mistaken, that is a Hebrew word, or it comes from one, man. And that word means, talking about, talking about the Northern Kingdom, man. Because I remember the brother in Mississippi doing a video on that word, man. Arawak, man. I remember that, man. I can't really remember what he was saying, though. I just remember it was talking about the Northern Kingdom, man. That's how you know Gad and them is one of the tribes of Israel, man. Let me keep going, though. They selected 500 to be exported to Spain as slaves, man. So they got 500 of the Northern Kingdoms and pitch on to Spain as slaves, man. Pitch on slave ships, cargo slave ships, man. Not to be your friend. And it's Christopher Columbus we talking about right here. And they say he came over here to bring peace and shit. No, man. You know who he had on his boat? He had criminals and some more shit on his boat, man. Alright, Salakia. But 500 to serve as slaves to the Spanish on the island, and the remaining Indians were released. Columbus proudly boosted, so he proudly did this. He had pride when he did this. Boosted to the Spanish monarchs about the slaves' potential and its economic benefits. Columbus captured and exported more Indian slaves, about 5,000, than other single individuals. On the other hand, Spanish Queen Isabella, so this Spanish thought, this prostitute, this Queen Isabella, opposed slavery and returned many slaves to the Caribbeans, man. And that's where that's where the Northern Kingdom at, man. And it's some Southern Kingdom down there too now, but it started with the Northern Kingdom, man. Jake's down there, man. So you Northern Kingdoms was getting put in slavery in this time, man. Y'all wasn't having no, and this was before that fake ass feast, but y'all. So that's proving my point. If y'all was getting killed, tortured, and a century before that, about a century before that, how all of a sudden 90 Native Americans is came together with some Edomites to have a feast, man? They probably was scared of the Edomites in that time, man. What you mean? In the additions to capturing the Indians as slaves, the Spanish also hunted the Indians for sport and slaughtered them for dogs. So they did this for a sport, man. These Edomites, they was hunting you Indians for a sport, man. They was killing y'all just for the fun of it, man. Like, hey, let's go kill some Gadites today, man. That's basically what they said, man. Let's go kill some Indians today, and just for the fun of it, man. That's how you know these so-called white people was Esau, man, because that's the spirit Esau had. Esau's a man of the field, man. He liked it to hunt, man. He was a hunter, man. That's what Esau was, man. That's how Cain was too. Well, that's a whole nother topic. But my point is, these devils was never your friend, man. And slaughtered them for dog food, man. So these devils robbed and murder you niggas, man, for dog food and just to do it for fun of it. And they raped your land, man. They took away that shit. And they raped y'all. They raped y'all, man. These, these devils, they faggots. They was raping dudes, the biggest ones, the biggest Indians, They was raping women, raping kids. Columbus' legacy. So his legacy in Haiti is an example of 15th century genocide and slavery, man. So y'all was man. This was his legacy was genocide and slavery, man, in the 15th century, man, which is the 1400s, the late 1495, that area, man. That was his legacy out here, man. Genocide and slavery, man, and y'all think he's the friend, man. By 1516, the Spanish census estimated that there were only 12,000 Native Americans in Haiti, down from an example 8 million before the Spanish conquest and 3 million in 1496. So that's 11 million slaves, 11 million Native Americans, man, in slavery, man. He paid 11 million of the Northern Kingdom in slavery, man. Fucking y'all niggas up, man. In 1496, man. And y'all still don't get it, man. Fuck wrong with y'all, man. This population decline was caused by... So the population went down because it was caused by combinations of factors. So it was combinations of factors they was putting on y'all. Starting with diseases introduced by Europeans. So these niggas was giving y'all diseases. These Edomites was giving y'all diseases, which proved deadly to the natives. So the diseases made y'all proved deadly to y'all, man. It killed hella of y'all, man. Slavery, which resulted in both death and desperation, deliberate killings of Indians by the Spanish, and dropping birth rates, which are common reflected of cultural stress, man. And that's what these so-called white people did to y'all. These Edomites, man, your enemy, man. That's what they did to y'all, man. They tricked y'all ass, man. They came over here, they probably was like Shalom, giving y'all gifts, y'all giving them gifts, they showing y'all how to do stuff, and this, like, they had guns and stuff. So Jake, how Jake is, Jake probably was like, oh, that's raw, can we have that? They like, yeah, being friendly with y'all. They tricked y'all ass, man. And the prophets of the Northern Kingdom was out there probably telling y'all, man, like, hey, man, they are an enemy at the end of the day, man. You gotta think about it. Remember how Esau and Jacob was, man. Jacob pretended like he forgave Esau. Esau pretended like he forgave Jacob, man. So that's what these devils was doing, man. Like the scriptures say, remember the prophets before and after, man. So the prophets probably was putting out examples of other prophets and scriptures, like, getting on the Northern Kingdom ass. Like, look, man, these are enemies, man. Because, in the Greek, when the Maccabees and the Romans came, the Northern Kingdom was already gone. So I ain't say they ain't know about it, but they really ain't get a taste of that, man. So, 2/3 being wicked, like, hey, they cool, man. That was back then in Esau and Jacob time, man. They cool. That's probably how 2/3 of the Northern Kingdom was, man. Rejecting the prophets, man. Then they got fucked over, man. All right, now we gonna get into where Thanksgiving came from now, man. Thanksgiving Day is generally taught as an acceptable holiday to celebrate in this larger congregations of God. But this acceptance is based primarily on the belief that the pilgrims created Thanksgiving, but the origins of Thanksgiving are combinations of superstitious myths and false Christianity similar to Christmas, Easter, and Halloween, man. So this shit. So that's really. I don't know how to get. I'm gonna get into some more of the article, but that should just prove the point right there, man. Like, and that word superstitious just mean you just believe in something that's not real, man. It's basically the same thing as a myth, man. And false Christianities, man. Paganism, man. Similar to Christmas, Easter, and Halloween, man. Hey, I did the Halloween video on Halloween, man. So if y'all watch that one, y'all get that point. But basically, it goes all the way back to paganism, man. Now, this is a summary of the whole article. I'm gonna get to the point though. All right, it say what makes a holiday pagan. The Christmas tree and Easter bunny are not the only things that makes Christmas and Easter pagan, and removing them would not make either celebrations Christian. And likewise, removing the cornucopia or traditions like breaking the wishbone would not change the history or intent of Thanksgiving. What truly makes a holiday pagan is its history and origins. You know, how it really came from. Where did it come from, man? Like Thanksgiving came from that Celtic festival, man. It's not what the idols they had, the pictures they had for it. That's not what made it pagan. That's pagan. That's go back to some. That's idol worship anyway. You know, that's pagan shit anyway. But it's just the history that's built on it. You celebrating some shit you celebrating some shit that really happened. Well, no, you celebrate. Well, yeah, you can say that, but I'm saying you celebrating some fucked up shit, man, and you don't even know it. What truly? Oh, I read that. Regardless of its decorations or activity, so it don't matter what the decorations is, the activities, man. It don't matter what you doing, man. It don't matter if you doing it for kids. It don't matter what it is, man. You know, is wherever how it started, what made it come about. That's what it is. That's how it's made, man. Just like if an event happened and they celebrated that event from now on, however they celebrated because from how it came about, you know. And I'm gonna get into this real quick. Just say the history and origins of Thanksgiving. Why is it pagan? The Pilgrims did not start Thanksgiving. The Pilgrims did not start Thanksgiving. In fact, the Pilgrims have almost nothing to do with the origins of Thanksgiving at all, and were not associated with the holidays for well over 200 years after the first Thanksgiving, man. So that's how you know that shit was false right there, man. But we already proved that it was false anyway, because we was in slavery. So how we have a Thanksgiving then? So where did Thanksgiving come from? The answer is a little complicated, but the bulk of it came from a pagan harvest celebration called Harvest Home, also called Harvest Thanksgiving, which originated in England, in Europe, man, with these Edomites, man. That's how you know this thing is the ways of the heathen, man. The heathens made the shit up, man, in England, man. And it was a harvest celebration, man. This was combined with religious acts of days, Thanksgiving, that were practiced in the Church of England. The church, man. Where these churches come from? Started from the Roman Catholics, man.
BK, Butter, can you get her some pop from the store?
And both the Pilgrims and the Puritans, which are two entirely separate groups. The Pilgrims were separatists, not Puritans. Practice the act of setting aside religious day of worship to give thanks to God. But one key difference between the harvest Thanksgiving and a religious one is that the harvest Thanksgiving was an annual celebration during the harvest season. Autumn and religious Thanksgiving was set aside any time of year in response to divine intervention. Eventually, these two events, along with other influence, merge into single annual autumn celebrations that combine religious worship service, so some ritual shit, some witchcraft shit, large family gatherings, dance, and a large meal. And that's what our people doing now, man. Coming together and having large meals and shit, man. But they don't even know where it's quick. You don't even know where it came from, man. You ask, say, why do we do this? Oh, just because, that's just the tradition. Because you've been tricked, man. You've been brainwashed, man. You got fucked up, man. That's how you know this shit witchcraft, man. He had just trained you to do a certain thing a certain way, you know. And this I'm talking about is the devil, the Esau, man. Until sometime in early 20th century, the harvest home and Thanksgiving celebration were one and the same. News reports and stories from the late 19th and early 20th century seem to indicate that our modern Thanksgiving is more harvest home than a Puritan Thanksgiving. The first began of joyous celebration, the later a solemn church service, man. So this Thanksgiving shit ain't come about to the 19th, 20th century anyway, man. Well, really in the 19th century, man. From Abraham Lincoln, he made it a holiday, man. And you could keep reading this article, man. This is a good article. I was reading it this morning, but that was just the point right there where it came about, man. It came from some pagan shit, man. And we could see what happened in the 1800s, man. Now this is a little treaty that these devils gave the Native Americans, the so-called Native Americans, because the whole entire United States was in this, like the 50 states was established yet, so they did still have territories like on the western part. So the Medicine Lodge Treaty is the overall name for three treaties signed between the federal government of the United States and Southern Plain Indians tribe in October 68. So these devils, Esau, these so-called white people, made a peace treaty with Gad and them, and Gad Reuben and them. Well, really, this Reuben, because Reuben was in the southern part, man. It still is, like Florida, stuff like that, man. It made a peace treaty, because for real, when you do some research, Reuben really won that war, man. Reuben, the oldest child of Jacob, man. Reuben, wild, man. So they try to make this peace treaty with them, man. Then what happened was, eventually they took over their land, man. These devils, man. They tricked them, they deceived them, man. And I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna close it out with this Sirach chapter 2. No, Salakia. Sirach chapter 10, verse 12. Salakia, that's not it. I think it's Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Salakia, bear with me. Or yeah, Salakia. This Sirach chapter 12 verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, man. So never trust your enemy, man. Never, man. And say sometimes, and say in this point, and say when you use them, it say never trust thine enemy, man. And that's what the Northern Kingdom did, man. They trusted their enemy, man, and they got their ass fucked over, man, for trusting their enemy, man. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So when iron rests, and say if iron rests on some, no, yeah, if rest come on some iron and I wipe it off, clean it back to the regular iron, eventually that rest gonna come back, man. And that's how these devils work, man. They might act nice to you, be friendly for you in a certain time, but eventually they wickedness, they evil go come back towards you, man. That's what Esau did to Jacob, man. Esau acted like he forgave him, knowing he didn't, being nice to him, man. He wiped away his wickedness, wiped away his rest away. But eventually, his rest came back on him, man. So these devils, they deceive, they a deceiver, man. And that's what the serpent did, man, with Eve, man. He was being nice, but he was still being wicked at the same time, so that's really a little bit different. But my point is, their show come bring gifts, like the scriptures say, but at the end of the day, they still the devil, man. So, and that's what happened, man. They trusted their enemy, man. But yeah, man, I hope this video was edifying. And with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to the hopeful elect that teaches truth sincerely across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you brothers out there. And with that, I'm going to say about a ball. Shalom.